What is going on, my dudes? Tystra here, back again with another Genshin Impact video. And if you guys like the content, please make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And as always, make sure to comment down below what you liked about this video. Now, again, Genshin Impact's going through a little bit of a dry spell, so I figured, why not? Let's do a guide. And not just any guide, but let's do a character guide because it's been a while since I've actually done a character guide. I think the last one we did was actually Ayaka. So now that Ayaka is out, I figured this would be the best choice to go with Ayaka. So let's go ahead and talk about Miss Ayaka. Now, Ayaka, if you don't know, is a cryo one-handed sword user who is actually very good and used for a lot of different teams. Mainly freeze comp teams and kind of a somewhat international team, I guess, in that sense. But I kind of wanted to showcase her because, again, her banner is out right now. And, of course, she is the sister of Ayato. So let's go ahead and dive in. As you can see, my spread's kind of pretty good, actually. I haven't used Ayaka too much recently, but she definitely works out. We got a 71 to 162, which is a little above the 1 to 2 ratio. Well, actually, no, it's right on that 1 to 2 ratio, kind of. But the crit damage kind of goes over that 1 to 2 ratio. Normally for me, I still say that if you're at 50% crit rate, you're going to do just fine. So having that 71 is good. Energy recharge is okay. I'm not too worried about it, to be quite honest. But there ain't nothing wrong with a little bit more energy recharge, especially with Miss Ayaka. So let's go ahead and dive in. First thing, the weapon. Now, I have the black sword right here, but that doesn't mean that you can't use other weapons, obviously. There are other 4-stars that you could use, like the Aminoma is actually pretty good, the Aminoma Kaguchi, or the Black Cliff Longsword, or even if you have the Harbinger of Dawn, that's still a decent pick for Miss Ayaka here. However, I went with the Black Sword to get that crit rate up a little bit more. You could also use 5-star weapons. Her best weapon, of course, is obviously the Miss Splitter's Reforged, sorry. But I don't have the Miss Splitter's Reforged, and I'm not going to go and summon on that banner. Or you could use Primordial Jade Cutter, because that just so happens to be almost everybody's top 2 weapon, at the very least. Now for artifacts, I went with a Blizzard Strayer 4-piece, which honestly is her best set. You could run a 2-piece Blizzard Strayer with 2-piece Glad or 2-piece Shinanawas, but honestly, you're not going to get the same thing as said, you know, Blizzard Strayer. Like, come on now. Now, when it comes to the artifacts in general, you obviously have your flower and your feather stay the same. For your sands, you want to go with attack percentage because, again, she's meant to be a DPS. As you can see, this cup ran with crit rate. I probably should have went with more of a crit damage, but I digress. We could always rework these later on. And then, of course, for the cup, you go for cryo damage bonus because she is going to be a cryo damage dealer. So definitely make sure that you get a good cup on that. Don't do like I did and get this crappy cup. And then, of course, we have the crit damage circlet. Don't mind this. This circlet's copium for me. I could actually probably redo these, but for the sake of the video, we'll go ahead and just continue onwards. But you definitely want to go either crit rate or crit damage, or you could even go attack percentage on her. But I still say crit damage is her best bet, especially since if you are running the black sword, you probably want to make sure that you get as much crit damage as humanly possible. So what should you be focusing on for your substats? Now, what's really funny is that Ayaka is one of those ones where she levels up, I believe, on crit rate, if I remember correctly. So since she levels up on crit rate, I'm going to go ahead and actually confirm that really quick. But you want to focus on crit damage, and you also want to focus on attack percentage. Now, if you focus on, let's say, crit rate and all that, there is nothing wrong with that at all. But I definitely say crit damage is the way to go. So, no, she scales on crit damage. So that's why you want to focus on your artifacts having a little bit more, honestly, I'd say more crit rate in that sense. I guess it's because of how much damage she could possibly do. I'm seeing a lot of people say that crit damage is the way to go, which is perfectly fine. But again, since you're running Blizzard Strayer, your crit rate's already going to go up another 20%, and with the Black Cliff Sword, you got that 30 extra %. So there's nothing wrong with that. But I digress. I still say that when it comes to her substats, crit damage, attack percentage, energy recharge and crit rate are kind of tied. I would say, honestly, if you are running the Blizzard Strand, you're getting that extra 20%. And if you are running a Blackcliff Sword, honestly, energy recharge takes precedence. So that's just my my 2 cents on that. All right, so let's go ahead and also get into talent priority. Now, don't give me crap because she's not completely done on talent priority. Her talents are not that great for me, but she does have a lot of good talents in general. Main focus, you want to focus on her burst, like I didn't do. So we're gonna actually, well, we'll save those. We'll save those. But yeah, you want to focus on her burst mainly. Like I said, don't do what I did. Focus mainly on her burst and then go to her normal attack. Now, the reason why you want to go to her normal attack is when you look at Ayaka, when she goes into that, she turns all damage into cryo damage. So she's doing cryo damage as she comes out and then doing cryo damage for 2 charged attacks. So that's really, really good. You definitely want to make sure to capitalize on that. So that's why you want to focus on that normal attack more than the burst. Like I said, don't do what I did and focus on skill, because the skill, while yes is still good, you could honestly triple count Ayaka and it wouldn't be a problem. You want to focus mainly on your burst and your regular attack first. Now, let's go ahead and go into team comps. Now, I've got 2 team comps here that I want to try out. These are ones that I've had suggested to me before, and I kind of want to show them off. First off, we got Ayaka as our main DPS. We have Xingqiu as a sub DPS slash off-field DPS. We have Mr. Kazuha with, you know, kind of support slash getting that extra animo stuff with it. And then, of course, we have the bane of my existence, Diona. Now, Diona's 70, but I only use her for shields because that's all she needs. So that's one team comp. Now, the second team comp that I have that we'll also be trying out is this team comp, which is kind of like a freeze build almost. The only differences are that instead of Xingqiu, we're getting Shinhua for the cryo damage bonus, and we got Kokomi instead of Diona for healing potential and the freeze comp type of thing. So what are we going to do? Obviously, we're going to go over to the Animo Hypostasis because I literally am unoriginal and I keep on using the Animo Hypostasis. Now, what's really cool about Ayaka is that she is the second character in Genshin Impact to be able to do this, which is go into the ground and kind of go faster. Now, she's really good for traveling because of that, or you could run Mona, which it's all dependent on your preference. But when it comes to cryo, at least having that little bit of cryo is good to help. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to start building up our energy particles before we hit. So I'm going to hit him like that, grab some energy. Now, I am running a very low-leveled sack sword on Xingqiu, only because of the fact that I am running sack sword also on Kazuha, and that is R5. So, let's see. Now we need to make sure... I'm basically just waiting so that I can actually get Ayaka's thing up. So, once we get Ayaka's thing up, that's when we're going to strike. I'm actually wanting to make sure that I get her ult all the way. Now, that's why you want a little bit more energy recharge as well, is because of the fact that, you know, that helps out a lot. But as you can see, as I come out and I start doing my charged attack, she's doing cryo damage on top of that. So, let's go ahead and I'm going to fly up here really quick just to get out of the way of that. Okay, and it went away. But yeah, so ultimately, we're just trying to get our ults up here real quick. I'm going to actually, to kind of speed this up, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to fight those other boys that were over there. So, let's go ahead. And we're going to kill these guys over here. Now, I'm not going to worry too much about Kazuha's ult per se, but I am going to worry about not hitting this thing and blowing up. Okay. Now that we got that, we're not going to kill him. We're going to be nice. So we're going to come over here, and we're not, like I said, we're not going to worry about Kazuha's ult in this sense. He's mainly built, like, the whole point of Kazuha is, yes, for that elemental, like, kind of synergy, but we want to capitalize on the Xingqiu Ayaka stuff. But we could probably also do that. So we're going to activate this. We're going to activate that. We're going to activate that. And go. Alright, So see what was going on there. If you looked carefully with the damage that we were doing, because of the fact that we had Xingqiu there with us, that made the whole damage being like, you know, you're getting your freeze in that, but you're also just getting the extra damage because of the off-field DPS. Kazuha's was also absorbing the, I believe it was cryo element and giving more of that cryo damage to it. And then, of course, Diona's there for healing, which you saw really helped with Ayaka right there, because Ayaka definitely needed the healing after the Animo Hypostasis burst went off. And then, of course, as you were seeing, like I said before, when it came to Ayaka's charge attack, we were getting that cryo damage on top of that, which was adding more to it. So that's why I say that Ayaka is, like, you gotta really focus on getting those charge attacks and getting her burst off. Like I said, don't be like me and mess up and focus on the skill. Now, let's go ahead and test the same kind of team comp, but instead we're going to focus mainly on the freeze comp itself and also give us this little damage bonus when it comes to Shenhe. So what we're going to do is we're going to come over here really quick and we're going to get the alts really quick. Now, the whole point of this is to kind of get Shenhe's alt off while also basically giving Ayaka that 40% damage bonus. Kokumi is there strictly for healing. So what we're going to do is we're not going to worry about her ult, but we are going to worry about, let's say, in a sense, putting out the jellyfish to get that healing while we're focusing on damage. So that's going to be the game plan going in. I'm not going to say I'm going to execute it flawlessly because, again, I'm kind of a dummy when it comes to Genshin Impact. But at the same time, I feel like, you know, I could be smart at times. I could be smart knowledge. So yeah, like I said, we're just going to go ahead and grab some energy particles really quick. I know this video is kind of running a little long, so my apologies, guys. Hold on, come on. There we go. That should give us the... There we go. Alright, so we're going to teleport back to the Animo Hypostasis, and we're going to show exactly, like, the damage output that even this type of Ayaka can do, because like I said, I focused way too much on the skill. I honestly am thinking about kind of rebuilding her, not in the sense of her artifacts, but more so powering up her talents the way that she needs to have them powered up, and then also kind of giving a little bit more focus on her team comps, because I really want to see what Ayaka can do when it comes to damage, and this will kind of showcase what she could do for her overall damage output, because you also have to be very, very timely with your stuff. So here we go. We're going to do the same thing that we were talking about before. We're going to activate that. Put out jellyfish. We're going to activate all. Do that. Look at the amount of damage we were outputting right there. Like, that was absolutely bonkers. Especially since, you know, her burst really goes in... basically focuses on the enemy in front of them. But that's also a detriment for Ayaka in the sense, at least in my opinion, the reason why I don't use Ayaka too much is because with her ult, you're basically firing off to the enemy that you're going to be aiming at. And then it doesn't change direction, it just keeps going forward. Like, once it hits the enemy, it stays there until the enemy's dead. Which is cool for bosses and stuff, but when, let's say, you're doing multiple enemies or dealing with multiple enemies, you kill one enemy, and then it just goes away because the enemy could be on the other side. Now, granted, that comes with aiming with Ayaka. And there's nothing wrong with people who are able to aim with Ayaka. It's just more so that, like I said, when it comes to her in general, you may have to deal with some issues when it comes to her ult. But overall, Ayaka is still a really, really good DPS character to use, as you've seen. Like, legit, we just melted the Animo Hypostasis in a really fast time. And honestly, she is one of the better DPSs in my opinion, just because of what she could do. Her team comps are awesome. You really don't have to worry about her too much. But her cons are she has to deal with a burst that is very one-directional. And then also, like, you have to be very timing with her based, or timing based with her, because of coming out of, you know, the running animation, or when you sink into the ground to get that cryo damage. You have to make sure that you time your frames correctly. So if you practice with her, you are going to be amazing with her. Trust me on that. And that's honestly what I think I'm going to do, since I don't have to worry about companionship teams for a while. I think I'm going to run her just to kind of get a general understanding of her more. And then not only that, but it's also dependent on your teams. And I think that she's very versatile in freeze comp teams. That's probably one of her best sets of teams. But let me know in the comments below what you guys think. Do you guys think that Ayaka is one of the best? I would definitely say that she gets a overall rating of 8 out of 10. She does have cons, but overall she is a very, very nice DPS character. So, as always, guys, thanks so much for giving me the opportunity to entertain you. We will be back again with another Genshin Impact video probably tomorrow. This one's going to be a little bit weird because I'm probably going to be upsetty spaghetti throughout the whole thing. But we will go ahead and talk about that tomorrow. Anyways, guys, love you all to death. And as always, we will catch you guys in the next video. Take care and be safe.